All right, you guys ready? I have a surprise for our last episode of the year. Yeah, and for anybody not watching from YouTube, you have to go watch on YouTube.
Well, there may not be.
Ready?
It sounds like a cat. Did you get a cat?
I'm going to stand up and then you'll know.
Oh, okay. God. Whoa. Oh, God.
That
is that a pecker tree?
It's a dick tree.
Get closer to the camera. Is that a dog bone or a pecker wood?
It is a dick
that's
tree.
A pecker tree. What would be really nice if it was covered in snow?
Presented by Memphis Shades, the clear choice for custom windshields and fairings for your motorcycle. And Wild Ass Seats, stay in the saddle longer and in total comfort no matter your butt or budget.
Okay. Pray tell, from whence did you acquire this?
I made this shirt. I didn't acquire it. I made it on
Etsy.
Yeah, she was.
No, I made it myself. I cut out all these little dicks. And then when I had the pile ready to glue on, I had them all in my hands, and I go, Jared, look, I just have this pile of dicks over here.
Jared was her dick model. Hey, Jared, come over here and let me trace this for my Christmas tree.
Wow.
I'm making a schlong sweater.
That was good. That was good.
That was strong. I am extremely impressed.
That was strong. I've never seen a dick tree before.
We actually have a friend Christmas event this weekend, and they said we have to wear a naughty, ugly Christmas sweater, and I was like, I'm just gonna make some shit then.
That's incredible.
That's great work, Brittany.
And I prefer to be more subtle. I'm not really, I just could not.
I don't know how subtle that is. I mean, it's a fucking lot of dicks.
It's more subtle than most of the ugly sweaters that you see. Most of them are like blatant sex scenes. And I was like, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I got to have a bunch of dicks
I think the only thing that would have made that better is if you use some translucent glue in your glue gun.
No.
And just,
it needs snow on the tree.
I thought about having like doing something funny with the star, putting a star
penises.
at the top. Yeah.
Snow-capped dicks.
Bravo, Brittany.
That was solid.
You could have Mrs. Claus on the back with her eyes rolled up.
That's a lot of dicks.
It's just disappointing that my camera can't, I can't zoom out.
I like how they have a little curvature to them too. I mean,
oh yeah, they're all different. I tried to make them different.
Please take the best photo possible you can of that and send it to me for next week's social uploads.
Yeah,
I'll try to have Jared take a picture of me.
And I like the white lace around the
top.
The curvature there. Yeah, that's
I tried to make it a little bit ugly.
Leave it to Dave to even make a dick shirt creepy.
Just saying.
I would have to wear it out.
I like the curvature right here.
Well, it's a pile of dicks.
That was strong, Brittany. That was very strong.
Just for you guys.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, if I'm making a naughty sweater, I was like, I gotta wear it to the podcast. There's
Game over.
You have to.
What the
All
fuck
right,
is
Merry Christmas, bitches. We're out.
What's going on,
Can't
Tony?
top the dick.
This is what is this podcast? Is this the second or third podcast in a row that we've worn the same fucking shirt?
Holy shit, you are wearing the same shirt.
Again. What the hell?
Welcome.
That's crazy.
You're welcome.
Are you wearing the same hat? Or is it your turban?
No, it's my turban.
Skull cap.
I got a skateboard hat on today.
I really wanted to send you guys I looked online for those gummy snacks, and I really wanted to send every one of you a bag of dicks that you could eat. But I wasn't going to be able to get them to you in time for this recording, so I gave up on it. I was like, oh well.
It's the thought that counts.
But I was going to actually, as an even specialer treat, more special, whatever.
Specialer?
Specialer treat for Dave. I was gonna send Dave a bag of vaginas instead of dicks.
I don't know how I'd feel about gummy vaginas.
I'm trying to process that for a minute. I'm trying
I'd eat the piss out of them.
Which ones, the dicks or the vaginas?
Wow.
Yes.
That'd be a yes.
Wow. And all I did was get you guys poker chips from the Bastille dealer in Paris. But
Bastille.
you were sending out dicks and vaginas.
Do we still smell
Well, I
like
didn't
wee-wee?
send them out, but maybe I will. Maybe you'll get them as a surprise one day.
You never know. And
We wouldn't have got him here because there isn't much moving around here at all.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
guys
How much
snowed in?
snow did you get?
Oh yeah, it's still snowing. I don't know. We're over a foot for sure. We're about probably 18, 19 inches, something like that.
God
It's-
damn.
Wow.
It's brutal.
That's
It's been
terrible.
it started snowing Tuesday night. It's gonna snow till Friday morning. So
We
yeah.
have
Oh
no
my
snow,
God.
just rain.
No,
Yeah, it's been raining.
there was rumors of a storm coming in like late next week. I don't know if that's holding up or not, but
I'll be
Yeah,
in Florida.
it's
think
going
I
to be
bet.
cold.
I think I saw that. Yeah. But
It's going to be
I
cold here.
I got out of London hours before they had that big snow the other day. My
Yeah, we're
friends
going to be in the
were showing me
single digits in another week and a half.
They had 6 inches of snow in London. Shut down everything.
That sucks.
Can you imagine if Texas got 6 inches of snow?
Oh, dude.
Oh, it'd be terrible. It would be terrible. They
You
wouldn't
know,
get anywhere.
I'm not going to say anything about Texas. Yeah, they're a bunch of pussies. I'm going to say it.
I'm not saying anything about Texas. They're a bunch of pussies.
Oh my
I
gosh.
remember growing up in Texas, man. If anyone even mentioned snow, there was run on eggs and bread and milk and everything else. Everybody went straight.
They're
up
out
to the
Eastern
grocery
to
store
Innies.
buy
Why?
everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me ask you this though. Why is it eggs and bread and milk that you buy
I have
for a
no
storm?
idea. I have
Because they
no
do that
idea.
here too. Everyone like the bread will be all sold out. There'll be no milk. I'm like, what?
Yep.
Man,
is
you
that
gotta
all
have
you
some
eat
bread.
on a regular basis?
I
You
think
got to
it's
have
held
something
over.
to put peanut butter on.
Probably something held over from the Depression, from all the old farts. That's
You can keep the eggs and
Maybe.
milk. Nobody wants eggs.
It's usually water here. All the water goes. Nobody drinks the tap anymore.
well. Why would you need to worry about that? You got plenty of snow to melt outside to make water.
If it melts.
We bring it in the house.
Oh yeah, you bring it in and melt it down. Just don't pick up the yellow snow or the brown snow.
Yeah.
I just don't fuck with it. There'll be a dog turd in it.
There will be if you go into our
This
yard.
smell
and
smells a
pick it up.
touch shitty.
You need somebody needs to gift Brittany a pooper scooper.
Oh my god! There's now with the second dog. There's so much shit in the yard. I can't
like-
believe it.
You don't
Do
pick
you
that
not pick
stuff
the shit up? What you got to do? You got to hit it with the mower.
Not every day. No, that's horrible, Tony.
No.
Usually, when you're mowing, you don't like the mower doesn't actually chop it up. You just end up stepping in it, which
Well, you
is
need-
even
No,
worse.
need to
no,
let
you
the
got to
dogs
wait
go
till it
shit in the
freezes up
neighbor's
and then
yard.
hit it with the mower.
No, have them go in the neighbor's yard. That's how you fix that problem.
Look, the oldest is not that well behaved. If we let her out into the front, she'll just run off and we'll never catch her again.
Let me tell you what I'm not doing is packing a bag of dog shit around. You seen these people walking their dogs holding this bag of shit?
Yep.
Yeah, I
As
pick
they're
up the
walking
shit and I
dogs.
carry it.
When we had dogs, I
No,
I did
I'm
that.
not doing it.
You're the person everyone complains about, Tony. You're going to be on
Complain away,
Facebook
because
neighborhood
I am
group.
not packing a bag of shit around the neighborhood.
Okay, wait. I have
Not
to tell
doing
you
it.
guys a story. So, in our part of in Lexington, we have a Facebook neighborhood group. Like, there's one for our neighborhood and then the nearby one. People continually post on there.
You have to make a Facebook page to talk to people that are next door.
No, it's like an awareness group thing. Like, they put up garage sales and if creepy people are walking through the neighborhood. And then they also bitch about everyone. They bitch about people who don't pick up their poop. So one day, I see this post, and this guy was so aggravated by the neighbor posting about pooping that he went and shit in their yard.
Nice. Good
They
for
have
him.
it. They have a whatever doorbell
Ring
cam.
doorbell. Yeah.
Yeah. So they posted a video of this guy who just like, you don't see him shitting, but it's implied. He just like walks off up into the bushes near the house, out of sight of the camera, and then just
Smoking.
leaves a little while later. And then this person posts how they're like, "This guy, if you see this guy, he's been shitting in our yard."
Good for
Hey.
him.
Not all heroes wear
I thought
capes.
so too.
Yeah,
Stay
not all
classy,
heroes have
Lexington.
capes, so-
Yeah.
Stay classy.
Yes.
Wow.
They
That's-
can
Hasn't
complain
happened to
all
us
they want
yet,
to
but-
about me because
That's
you know
some
what?
passive.
I'm fresh out of fucks.
That's some passive aggressive shit right there.
That,
I mean,
it's
I think that's
extreme.
That's
You
Gigi
know-
Allen shit.
you gotta. I don't understand that. If you have a problem with your neighbor, go knock on their door and have a conversation. If their dog's shitting in your yard, just collect the shit and throw it in their front yard.
There you go. Yeah. Wait for him to walk by and throw it at him.
You just knock on the door and say, "Here's your dog's shit,"
my
and you drop the
God.
bag right on their porch and you walk
You
away.
guys are very. I mean, I didn't mean to start this whole shit thing here.
Man.
well,
I
mean,
was just
really,
saying I'm not packing around a little pink bag of shit while I'm walking the dog.
you don't. I mean,
It doesn't have to be pink. Most of the bags
does
are green.
Other
Well,
colors
how
suit
about
you
if I
better?
just
No,
shit in a
we
bag
buy
and
the
carried
thick
around?
black
How about that?
you know, Brittany,
Thick one.
Brittany, I was going to tell you. You know what people use those Facebook posts, those Facebook neighborhood pages for, to find out who's not home, so they know whose house they
Swingers.
can break into.
They're
Probably.
swingers.
That's what they use. it.
There was
No,
one where a car just like ran, like somebody got out of their car, apparently didn't. No, you don't even see him get out. Sorry, I'm trying to remember. Somebody posted a video where there was just this car slowly speeding up down the street. And then, like 5 seconds later, the person who owns the car is running down the street after it, trying to catch
Nice.
up. And then
Remember-
the car hits a pole.
Remember in the
Good on
Discord
them.
when everybody just posted that you live in the hood and you were like, "No, I don't."
I know
live in
this
the
isn't
hood."
helping.
And then you just told us 3 straight hood stories about where you live, and you're the Karen that's creeping on Facebook, watching all of the stuff that these people are posting. So I mean,
Hey, I'm not being
Oh.
Karen.
you
I
have
find
just
it amusing.
you have just proven everybody's point on Discord to be right.
I don't need Facebook. I just tell them to fuck off to their face.
Hey, if I told you normal stories, you wouldn't listen. I gotta only tell you the hood rat ones.
It sounds like all your stories are hood rat stories.
God damn.
When all your
Somebody's
stories
over
are
there
hood rat
fucking
stories,
launching
live in the
fucking
hood.
turd missiles in the neighbor's yard. Here, hang on. I'm going to go build a cabin right over here.
It's called a Lexington Welcome.
The Lexington welcome.
There you go.
welcome to Lexington. That neighbor over there is going to shit in your yard. Don't mind
Yeah.
him. Oh, that's Brittany over there. She's going to creep on you on Facebook.
And dance in front of you with her dick shirt.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
that's
going to
a
be
great
on that.
sight to
You're
see.
going
I
to be
don't
on
know.
that Facebook thing now. There's some girls walking around with dicks all over her shirts.
Right.
Now, Brittany,
Have you
now
seen
I
this
hope
lady?
that happens. That'd be hilarious.
you need to do a TikTok dance in your dick shirt. They'll call it
Yeah.
Dick Talk.
Seriously.
TikTok.
Do about
Maybe this is my OnlyFans lane. Is I just make clothing with dicks on them.
You can start an Etsy account.
Get some dick socks, dick gloves. That'd be pretty terrible if you
All
had
the
dicks
fingers-
Did you
for
all the
say
fingers.
fingers
socks
could be
or
dicks.
sauce?
all the
I
dicks
said
are purple.
socks.
Oh, I thought you said dick sauce. I was like, nobody was dick
You
sauce.
should do dick headphones. Put some, decorate your head.
I'm not wearing those. That's
Excuse me while I
Oh,
put this
man.
dick sauce.
That's crazy.
You could have stickers made. You could walk around and slap dick stickers on people's windows in the neighborhood.
Dick slap.
Yeah, you would be known in the neighborhood as the dick lady.
You would. You would.
there are worse things to be known as.
Yes, there is.
There is.
I could be the
I'd say the
person that
dick
shit
lady
in the
is-
yard. I think
Gonna
I'll
say
go
you
with
could be
dick
like-
lady.
You could be the yard shitter.
Oh yeah.
So this is the last episode of 2022.
Yes, it
Yay.
is.
We do about almost 50 of these this year.
Wow.
I haven't checked
That's
actually.
nuts.
I think this will be like 48 or 49. It's about
No
par for the
shit.
course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we usually take the last 2 weeks off.
Which we're
Yep.
doing.
Yeah, which we're doing.
Yeah.
Make
So
everyone
next-
suffer. The listeners have to wait.
Yeah, you have to wait 2 weeks to get your fill of dicks.
Well, we
Maybe
are
I'll have a New Year's resolution dick shirt. You never know.
Hey.
So So I believe we're coming back on January 9th with a live stream, right? I think that's the plan. So put that on your calendars, people. We'll be back January 9th with a live stream.
Mm-hmm. So
Will it be a special live stream?
We don't know yet. Maybe it will be.
We can make it special.
We should.
So when I put a feeler out in the Discord and we got some questions and comments, we should start with those because one of them can actually lead into a little bit of a topic we could talk about for a minute.
All right.
So here we go. Vinny Madrox.
Boo.
Vinny Madrox. 2-part question for Mr. Tony Cox.
No.
Don't worry. They aren't long and don't include feelings.
No. Okay.
It is 2 parts.
How much?
I have one question in 47 parts.
Yeah. How much do you spend on cleaning products per year?
Not a lot, really. I mean, maybe $100.
Okay.
Not too bad.
Oh,
I thought it'd be at least double that, but
No.
well,
the second part is
it was a slow
phenomenal.
year. Part 2, how much would it take for someone to pay you to not clean your bike or not have
There's
your
no
bike
amount of
cleaned
money.
for an entire year, January 31st to
No.
December 31st?
There's no amount of money. I mean, you would have to be shitting $100 bills for me to not do that. I mean, really.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it.
That's still a number.
I'm curious about that question because this is the thing, and I've always
I'll tell you what I would need. I would need $20,000. That way I could go buy a new bike and keep that one clean and that one can stay dirty. There you go. But that
I
one
was
has to
gonna
be out of my
suggest-
sight.
I was going to suggest that they would have to be able to afford the therapy bill for the year.
But yeah, the dirty one would have to be out of sight. I couldn't be in the garage.
I am curious about that though. I know we give Tony shit about cleaning his bike, and I'm not quite at Tony's level, but I keep my bike clean also. And
Sure.
I'm just curious, do people truly go out there and spend a ridiculous amount of money on a Harley Davidson and then put a bunch of modifications on it and then just ride the piss out of it and never clean it? And so they're just letting it like go to shit. Is that really a thing?
I mean, I don't clean mine very often.
Define level.
Kick her
of
off the
clean.
podcast. Kick her right now. Kick her off.
Define level of clean.
Well,
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like
presentable.
caked in. Well, still, you have to define what's presentable because it's going to be different for everyone.
Well, it's not just presentable. I mean, there's I don't know about you guys, but I don't do a full 2.5 hour cleaning job on my bike every time I ride it.
Well, this is the thing. I've stayed with Tony at least 3 times at his house, and we've gone on rides around the neighborhood. And it's not like he comes back and breaks out the Q-tips and the microphone, the magnifying glass, and details every square inch of that thing. He cleans all the high touch points so that every time he gets on the bike to ride it, it looks nice.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't necessarily think that's that's such a terrible thing, right? I mean, I get back from the last time I pulled up to Louisville, before we even did the cam job on my bike, I completely cleaned it, all the bugs off it and everything in Tony's garage before I even unpacked it. So it's not, I don't think that that's unreasonable to say that you're keeping your bike clean and tidy. I think is completely different than if you got out the foam wash and foamed it and washed it. And, he's not doing that every single time.
No, I
if
do
you
the
keep
same
it tight.
thing. I mean, if I'm traveling, I get to the hotel, I get out the bug slide and I get all the bug shit off and clean the paint.
Right.
But I don't pull off the bags and get in and scrub the wheels and the disc and all that stuff.
No, I think for the whole year, I think I fully washed the bike, took the bags off, washed underneath the fenders twice this year. That was it.
Yeah, good man.
Sure. I would agree with Dustin. I probably take my bags completely off my bike twice a season and wash it. Now, if I, for whatever reason, rode through a rainstorm or mud or something like that, I would do it.
Dust.
Or cement dust. If you ride through cement dust, your bike gets traded in. I mean, I think that's just That's just a. That's
I
just
gotta figure out because Harley's announcing those new bikes on the 18th. I gotta go figure out what I'm buying.
Yeah, I guess you do.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, jeez.
It's time.
I honestly don't wash mine very often. I've gotten better about it
You better clean that
more
shit.
recently, but
It doesn't have to be spotless. It just needs to be presentable. I don't want to show
Yeah,
up
I
with a
just-
dirty ass bike
I'm-
with fucking
I know
oil
that-
dripping off of it and
well, there's no oil
road
dripping off
grime.
mine.
And
I know you guys
bullshit.
always say it's an excuse, but I'm not kidding you. There have been several times where I was like, maybe I'll wash my bike today. And the weather is really nice, so I legitimately do go and ride instead. And then I just don't wash it.
Brittany, I would suggest though. I mean, you haven't had that bike that long. I would suggest washing it so you get to know your bike and so that you're checking all your critical fasteners. You haven't owned that bike since jump, so you could have shit on there that's loose and ready to fall off.
True.
I guess.
And one of those
I'm
bags
not sure
could
what
jump.
would be.
One of those
Well,
bags
they've
could
taken the
jump right off
bags
back
on and
go
off.
They could come off and go tumbling right down the
if
highway.
I'm not mistaken, Dustin lost a bag, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I've taken the bags on and off.
How
That
did
fu-
you
that
lose
fucker
that
fell
bag?
I honestly have no idea because I had the little red tab down. When that's down, that means it's latched. Mm-hmm. And I rode it all the way to Tilly's in Mount Olive, and it was fine. I got out of Tilly's at Mount Olive, went down 66, probably 5-6 miles, and it was gone.
Weird.
Some guy was tailing me on 66, and he got pretty much side by side with me and told me to pull over. And I thought I was going to get robbed.
Thought you were getting cornholed.
He
Oh
got out of his car. He got out of his car, opened up his the back door, and it was in the back seat. I'm like, holy shit!
How? This is probably a dumb question, but how beat up was it? The bag.
I had to replace most of it.
Some bitch
That
cartwheeled
sucks.
down the road.
So either it wasn't fully latched. I just got lucky on the ride to Tilly's, or I don't know.
Well, when I got my Road Glide, I remembered that happened to you, so I bought some of those Rick Rack
Yeah, those worked out really good for you, didn't they?
things. No, that wasn't the problem I had. That was the latch. I'm talking about the latch. I'm talking about those Rick
I don't know
Rack
if we can
knobs.
get like special locks for the Sport Glide or not. To like make sure that it's locked in. I don't.
I just every time I put something in it or I open it, I always kind of wiggle the bag left and right to make sure it's latched on. It's a habit now after that happened.
Oh,
when
well,
was that?
even
2 or
after
3
you
years ago?
telling me, I'm like nervous every once in a while. I'm like, God, I hope my bag doesn't fall off.
It was like 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, that was probably about 3 years ago. Yeah, I didn't have a left side bag for a while. I think it took a while for those parts to come in because there was some hardware I had to get replaced too. Like
That
the
kinda
little
sucks,
reflector
too,
and the
'cause
badge.
They're not really like they don't have that much capacity. Like they are smaller than your touring saddlebags. Better than the Sportster saddlebags, but they're still not. You know, what I mean, they can't hold quite as much stuff.
No.
You know, I thought about you two in Paris when I went to the dealer. They had quite a few Sport Glides there.
It's a great motorcycle. I don't understand why they didn't sell more of them.
It's Lowrider ST.
In the
Excuse
U.S.
me. Sorry about that. I had something
But
in my
that's
throat.
new. We're talking like before this past year.
Yeah,
though.
the bike was released in 18. How come
They
they,
still
didn't sell
Yeah.
more then?
they still look to be a big seller every time I go to Europe. Every deal I go to.
Well, they
Yeah, so what
actually
is it
seized-
about the U.S. that they just
They
people
did
don't
seize
want?
The
production.
Switchback wasn't a big seller either in the twin cam lineup,
No, it
which was
wasn't.
basically the same bike.
Yeah. They did totally stop production of it though in Europe, so they're not making it anymore anywhere.
Did they? I thought they were still doing that this year.
No, they stopped production on it fully. They're no longer making them anywhere for anyone.
Well, you're going to be able to get bags for them for a long time because
That's for
that
sure.
Lowrider ST,
ST.
its bags are
Yeah.
right off of your bike. So we got more questions here.
All right,
They
let's go.
threw some questions down at us. So Das Uber Stinker says, what are the group's thoughts on heat management, i.e., cool flow fan for the rear cylinder or the oil cooler fan?
Oh, I thought he was talking about underwear, boxers or briefs.
I have not thought about it at all.
You get that hot downstairs, Dave. You need a heat management system.
Hey, man.
Sometimes
Nobody likes sweaty balls or angry balls.
Yeah.
Wide, the answer is wide pant legs. You just stick them out
There
to the
you
side
go.
when you're going down the interstate. It'll cool you off in no time.
Just
There you go.
recirculate. I don't think, I mean, unless you live in a heavily traffic, there's a lot of traffic and a lot of stop and go and you're setting for a long time, I don't think there's a need for any extra cooling on those things.
Right.
Maybe if you live in Arizona or New Mexico or Florida. Maybe.
I mean, as long as you're moving, you're fine. I mean, the only time
Yeah.
they really start getting funky is if you're stuck in stop and go, and they have that feature where the rear cylinder shuts down.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If they
Let
get
me
so
tell you
hot.
this from an engineer's perspective.
Oh, fuck.
Uh-oh.
They designed
engineer's
it
about to spew.
without that, so I'm sure it's fine. Like, they've probably considered those things when they designed the motorcycle and they didn't include it. I wouldn't worry about it.
Captain
Unless,
Obvious
like
just
you
broke
said-
it out.
Yeah.
There you go. Unless you're sitting stopped for a really
That's
long time,
the
that
only
would be
time,
the only
yeah.
thing I could think of that would bother it.
Yeah.
Well, and this is what I've heard about a ton of those heat management systems is that they all have some sort of fan function to them, and you're going to blow that heat somewhere. And so many times it's going to blow against one of your legs. So I don't think that it's right. So I don't think you're going to blow it off the engine, but I don't think you're going to gain any cooling to yourself in that process. Because typically when you're feeling that heat is when you're not moving anyway. And so that's when those fans are going to kick in and blow that heat on your legs if they're straight down anyway. So I think it completely defeats the purpose. If you're that sensitive to the heat that's being kicked off of your motorcycle, drive a car and stop bitching.
Yeah. I would agree. I did put a set of air deflectors or heat deflectors on my bike at some point this summer, and it made a difference.
I think it does. That certainly keeps the heat from what's raising up between your legs, and I think that I think the heat deflectors that you put on your bike, Dave, are probably a much better, more sound investment than even one of those cooling fans, because all it does is keep the heat away from your body. And to Brittany's point, the motorcycle's engineered to ride in a super hot environment. I mean, let's use $1 Million Bogan as a perfect example. Dude rode his bike all the way across Australia. It's hot as fuck there.
Yeah.
And he didn't seem to have overheating problems. So
No.
I
The
think
only
that
time-
you're fine.
You overheat is when you're setting. I mean, I can think of one instance where I was caught in traffic on the expressway at a dead standstill.
Yep.
Where I had to
Yeah.
shut the bike off
Turn
Now-
the
because
bike
it was
off,
getting
yeah.
too hot. Yeah.
Hold on a second, because I think many, many, many states, and we actually talked about this on our road trip down in FDBM 21, because we got stopped in Indy, my group did, and we were talking over comms, and Kenny goes, most states have a law that if you're stuck in traffic and you have a air-cooled motorcycle, you can ride the shoulder and get the fuck out of the traffic.
I almost
I've
did
heard
that. When the day I left Uranus, it was so hot that day.
hot. It's hot in
that-
Uranus.
Right when you got on the ramp there by the gas station to head back towards St. Louis, traffic was at a dead stop. I almost turned around on that exit ramp and went down 66 instead, but I was like, well, maybe this won't last that long. It was like 20 minutes. And
Yeah,
I almost took the shoulder.
Yeah, you
all the way
can.
down.
You can. And that's really that's to protect you from becoming a traffic, impeding traffic with your bike sitting on the side of the road overheated, right? So if your bike starts giving you heat warnings, you get in the shoulder and you ride out of the traffic.
Well,
I wouldn't
hear
hesitate.
That. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that because I do that.
Yeah, I
don't
wouldn't
really
hesitate.
care.
I would do it. Just without question. If you're feeling like you're too hot or your bike's getting too hot and you're stuck in traffic, get in the shoulder and ride away.
One caveat though, make sure the shoulder's clean.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
A lot of time those fucking I
Yeah.
shouldn't say that because they're the backbone of the United States, but the truckers have been known to block that off. If there's a lot of people like taking the shoulder to get off, I've seen them pull
Yeah.
over and like block the shoulder
Yeah.
Right.
where people can't get around.
Or back up and try to kill you.
Yeah, or
I will
that.
say, if you're back to the heat deflectors, if your intent with the heat deflectors is to better cool the engine somehow, leave the left one off. Only put one on. So that air gets scooped up around the back.
Or
of
buy
the,
a Pan America. It's
engine.
water cooled.
Or buy a Pan America. Yeah.
My understanding is
Nightster.
those are going to be a lot hotter on your legs because your legs are closer to the motor. So there you go.
You can ask Volts about that.
I
See
think
what
the
he
air
says.
cooled motor isn't going to be around much longer anymore anyway.
Yep.
So
He has a second part to his question. He says, "What performance mods do Percy, Dustin, and Brittany have planned for their bikes? Do you guys have any performance mods coming up in this season?"
I don't think mine counts as performance, but I might. It depends on my year-end bonus, but I might put mid controls on my bike.
mid controls.
And I've decided that I'm just gonna like full on convert it over to mid controls instead of just buying. You can buy an accessory kit. I think it doesn't look as good. So I'm just gonna, and it costs like damn near the same. So I'm just gonna full on switch it over.
Switch it over.
If it's more comfortable, good for you.
Yeah.
It'll help your performance on the motorcycle. So maybe
I'm a
that's
big fan of
performance
the
mod.
mids, but I'm also shoved.
Yeah, I
with
think
little
I'm
legs.
well, and I have longer legs than you do, Tony. But I think
do?
it stretches me out a little bit having those like forwards to where then
I
I
do
get
stretched
my
out.
back gets sore. So
Nah, I'm not even going to touch that.
Put you in that clam.
I mean, man, I could run with that for 20 minutes.
puts you in that clam position when your legs are stretched out.
But correct me if I'm wrong. The Sport Glide doesn't have regular forwards. It's
I
got,
think they're considered like mid forwards.
It's mid
but
forwards, like what I had on the Fat Bob, right,
Yeah.
Dustin?
Yep.
Just get you some mini boards.
I have mini boards, but
Get you some good ones. Good mini boards.
they are good. They're from Kuryakin.
Call my friends over at Joker Machine. That's the one. Those are the ones I ran. They were great.
No, I think it's like, I mean, and it's combination too of the seat. So the LaPera seat puts you kind of back a little bit on the bike than the stock seat does. So I think that comes into play too. I think I'll be a lot more comfortable if I have the mids.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
I'm a fan of the mids. But then again, them 5'6" with fucking legs that are look like they belong on a fucking alligator. But
Yep. Dave,
they
how
work
about you?
good for
I
me.
can't do mids. My hips won't take that.
How about you? How about you, Dave? What do you got on the? What do you have on the agenda for performance mods?
My first mod will help touring performance from a certain aspect. I'm very likely going to do a stage 2. I haven't done any engine work on the Road Glide this year, and that's kind of what I have in mind. I haven't really kind of decided which way I'm going to go.
Might I
which cam I'm
suggest
gonna
the
get or whatever.
S&S 475 cam kit?
It works pretty well.
I'm probably not going to do that. You know,
Kick him off the podcast.
What are you going to go with?
I don't know. I may go with a Jim's cam. I'm not sure yet. I'm not, but after having done the stage 2 on the Fat Bob, I have a lot to consider. And after
You were happy with that, weren't you? You had the Screaming Eagle torque cam.
I was happy until, well, I was never unhappy, but once I put the 2-into-1 exhaust on, that made a difference that I didn't care for.
The exhaust is critical.
Yeah. I mean, that TBR exhaust, that once I put that on, because I'd already done the cam and everything, the year before with my Reinhardt slip-ons, but that moved the characteristics of the torque curve to a place where I didn't get as much vibe out of it.
Okay.
So that's why I'm being very careful and honest to God, back with the 475. Ryan's I've got PTSD over riding with Ryan. After he did that, I do not, not that there's anything wrong with it. If that's what you like, man, that's your thing. But
Mine isn't that loud.
I would probably sell my bike if my bike came out like that.
Mine's
Mine is not that loud.
It's not the cam. The cam didn't do that. What the cam did was really, really make those Tab Performance Zombie baffles do what they were designed to do, which is, make everybody around you go deaf.
See, I have the medium baffles in my tabs, and my bike sounds perfect. It's right where I want it.
Yeah, Tony's bike has that lope and that deep growl that you're looking for that you get out of a cam that changes the characteristic of your motor. And he has the tab performance pipes too. I just had the tab performance with the zombie baffles, and once you've cammed it, then it becomes it becomes ridiculous. Yeah,
it's fucking loud, dude.
It's a little bit. It's a lot. Now,
but I'll let you know, and I think I'm trying to do a deal with Quantico Customs. I don't know if that's going to pan out or not, but we shall see.
How about
no? Oh, Brittany's gone.
Brittany's all pissed off my comment about the mini boards.
How about you, Dustin? What are you planning to do for performance mods, or do you have any on the docket?
I don't know about this year or not. Of course, working at the dealership, I'm going to get a nice discount. So, I mean, if I do go stage 2 like I want to this coming year, it'll probably be something from HD.
Gotcha.
But I'd like to do the SNS. That's a little bit out of my budget.
Sure.
But
I forgot about that friends and family discount that we're going to get. I'll be going with the Screaming Eagle parts. I'll change my answer.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Screaming Eagle cam plate and oil pump's supposed to be really nice. I mean, it's supposed to be top-notch shit.
I haven't, I've never even, that's funny. I've never even seen one of those or seen a video or pictures or anything of one of those. I'd be interested to see. I really would be interested to see what the Screaming Eagle parts look like.
No, I would like to go full system exhaust too. I don't know if I'm going to need it for the stage 2. I really like the sound of my bike.
I'll tell you, with those full system exhausts, man, you really, just like Percy said, you have to do your homework on them.
Yeah.
Because it moves your torque around. Mm-hmm. So you really got to figure out what type of riding, where you want that power to be, because your exhaust is really what tunes that in. So you can fuck up your whole thing if you put the wrong exhaust on it.
Yeah.
And still got that deal on the table from Legends. I could always do that too.
Dude, yeah. I'll be honest. If I had a choice between doing a cam and suspension, I would do the suspension all day long.
I agree.
Okay, but if you live where I do,
suspension all day long.
Why?
Yeah. Dude, it's just so much better.
Well, I'm not convinced from what anybody said, including the guy from Legends. What makes it so much better?
It's smooth. To begin with, it's smooth. You don't get any of that like spine jarring hits.
I don't get that now.
Yeah, you do. You just don't know that you do.
Yeah, you probably don't know it.
You don't know until you don't know.
Completely changes the
and then the front's stiffer and more responsive. There's no dive. There's no brake dive in it. It's you're much more confident with the front. It's a hell of an upgrade. I was the same way, man. I was like, it's a lot of money for. I don't think I'm going to spend that for suspension. I'm not going to spend that money on suspension. But it really it changes your bike just as much as a stage 2 does. And the suspension's something you feel the entire time. The cams, when you get on it, you feel the cam, but the suspension's there all the time.
And I think it kind of goes to why do you want to get out of a stage 2?
Yeah.
It's not, I mean for me, the stage 2 is about getting more torque where I want it.
Right.
That's really what it's about. Anything else? And to Tony's point, the difference with that and the suspension is 100% of the time you're on the bike, that suspension's making an impact.
Well, and Tony said a few minutes ago too that you can do a mod that fucks up the way you feel about your bike, right? Yeah. He put those that full exhaust system on his bike, and that was probably the dopest exhaust system I have seen on a Lowrider S. Now, to his point, he put that exhaust system on there, looked fucking fantastic. It sounded fucking fantastic, and he couldn't ride it because it didn't have heat shields, and the pipes were so hot they were burning his legs off. And so he had to get rid of it.
Yeah, I think if somebody had like longer legs, it would have been fine. But my legs are so short that my legs are, when I'm standing on the bike, they're tight to the bike. And with no heat shields on there, man, when I was coming to stoplights, I was fucking burning my pants.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you go on a long ride, those things are gonna that light your pants on fire as soon as you stop.
The not having heat shields is they should have.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
So that's a great example of a wrong mod situation. Where he did a performance mod that he had to reverse because it was the wrong thing for him.
And I'll tell you, like Percy said, when you do those 2-in-1s, it really does change the shit where that torque is.
So what was yours a 2-in-2 before, Percy?
Yeah.
Same with yours, Tony. And then
I didn't when I initially got the Fat Bob, I left the headers there. I just put slip-ons on, so it was 2-in-2. But
gotcha.
then I did the stage 2 with the torque cam, and everything was great. And I thought I was going to get better with the exhaust, but once I did, it bumped the torque curve up into a range that I typically don't ride.
Yeah, that's something with converting to mids. That's one of the big expenses because our bike, the way the exhaust runs, you can't just put mids on. So I would have to redo my exhaust. And so that's something that I'm still trying to figure out. I like the look of the 2-in-2s better. But for everything you guys are just talking about, I want to make sure that if mine's a 2-in-1, I want to make sure if I switch that it's not going to be a huge problem.
Well, whenever you put an aftermarket exhaust on, you take out those cats, shit changes.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I'll tell you,
your back pressure changes.
I don't remember how many parts there are to it. I think I sent you guys a link in the text before I left for Europe. Doc Harley, just in the last few weeks, has put out, he was being interviewed by someone else, and he really did a really good explanation going into exhaust and Harley parts. A lot of it had to do with this recent ruling, right, about third-party upgrades and stuff, but it's definitely worth a listen.
The best exhaust that I've had, aftermarket exhaust, was that S&S 2-in-1. That was on the Street Pop. As far as power goes.
Cool.
It wasn't the loudest exhaust, but because it had a high flow catalytic converter in it, it maintained the back pressure, which kept the low end torque.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you do listen to the S&S podcast, which I do, they typically give you a sneak peek on parts that they have coming out, and they have a new exhaust coming out for baggers that is, by their own admission, the loudest exhaust they've ever released for a bagger. And if you know anything about S&S, everything that they make is designed to be fast, right? So
yes,
it's going to increase, either your torque or your horsepower, and it's going to sound fantastic, and it works in conjunction if you've already got S&S parts on your bike. So I would say that they have that new product either is out or coming out first of the year. So and
you say the intent is for it to be the loudest, not the most powerful, but
it's
loudest?
Not okay. So let me quantify that. It's not the loudest out there. It's the loudest that they have put out. So it's a little bit louder than the rest of their pipes. Like Tony said, the pipe that he had on wasn't a very loud pipe, but it did all the things it's supposed to do. This new pipe they have coming out is also supposed to be the loudest in their lineup of aftermarket pipes. So I would still say that mine are probably much, much louder than what this is going to be, because they're not, S&S isn't known for making very loud aftermarket pipes.
They keep their catalytic converters in there because they make them 50 state compliant.
Right.
Unless you get their race stuff.
Right.
What's the next question we got?
We got one from Deep Freeze Bob.
Hey, Bobby!
Yep. He says, biggest things you're looking forward to in the 2023 riding season.
What about just 2023 overall?
Yeah, okay. 2023 overall.
The bike build.
Yeah.
Giving away that bike and helping out a ton of families around the country.
I haven't even thought about it yet. I'll think about that after Christmas.
You can't think that far ahead yet?
No, man. December's a brutal bitch over here, I'll tell you.
as soon as the snow flies here, you know, honestly, I start thinking about riding again. So getting back on my bike and riding again is really probably the next thing on my list that I'm looking forward to. Just through different conversations, I think, you know, right after the first of the year, we have Mama Tried in February. And I know that Blockhead is going to Mama Tried. I know that Weems is going to Mama Tried. He's got a bikey show in there. And my crew already has our tickets and hotel room reservations. We have a couple people in Discord. I think 3 or 4 people already in Discord that are going to be going to Mama Tried also. JT, who came to Hogs and Frogs, he's got his plane tickets, and he's got tickets already right behind where we're sitting at the Flat Out Friday event. So it's going to be a good time. Going to be a little bit of a mini meetup with a bunch of Discord members and patrons. And
where is that?
Mama Tried's in Milwaukee, and the event is entirely indoors. So the bike show's indoors, and
I say Milwaukee's cold as fuck in February, dude.
The Flat Out, it's not as cold as it is here. And Flat Out Friday is in Pfizer Forum, where the Milwaukee Bucks play. So downtown Milwaukee, lots of cool places downtown. Really cool location, easy to get to, easy to find. And you know, the flat track races are all indoors, so that's a really good time. So we roll in Friday night and we go straight to the races, and then go over to our hotel and, you know, just have a good time. So it's a really fun weekend, and that's the first thing we have going on. And hopefully I'll get a chance to meet up with Blockhead, and I'll for sure meet up with Jared. So, and I think the SNS crew is going to be there too, because they are doing a Sportster build off between their VP of marketing, one of their marketing directors, and I think their social media guy. They're all building Sportsters and doing a 100-day Sportster throwdown, and those bikes are going to premiere at Mama Tried also, in addition to all the invited builders. So it's a super dope event, and it's going to be fun. Meet a lot of people there that we know this year, so it's going to be a good time.
I won't be able to go this year. Maybe next year I should try to get up there. Well, not that's 24.
Sure.
Yeah. Super
good time. Really, if you're looking for just a chill event and it's indoors, not chill by cold, right? Just chill vibe. That the Mama Tried event is just really great. I like it a lot.
Well, I might be going to Milwaukee, but not for that one. Volts and I are talking about maybe going to the 120th anniversary up at the Motor Company.
Is that in August?
It's in July.
Oh, July. Okay.
Yeah, I need to talk Ted's into sending me up there.
There you go.
There you go,
Mr. Marketing. Cool.
I'll make a bunch of content for him and everything.
Yeah, if you guys go, Dave, you should let me know what that is. My crew might be interested in rolling out for that thing. Yeah,
because if they're going to reveal bikes and stuff, getting some of that footage for their YouTube channel could really give things a boost.
I don't know. I haven't seen an agenda, so I'm not sure. And we may not stay in Milwaukee because I know it's already pretty booked up and hotels are expensive. But we'll see. And I'm thinking actually maybe going back to Europe for a couple of weeks and at some point, and maybe even renting a bike while I'm over there for a little bit.
Man, make sure you get on the right side of the road with that motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't have any trouble with
Old backwards ass driving cocksuckers over there.
Put that steering wheel on this side where it belongs.
Man, your motorcycle doesn't matter. That motherfucker's centered anyway. Jump on that cocksucker and get on the wrong lane.
There's lots of cool areas to ride in over there too, Dave. Yeah. So
it should be fun. I don't know. I always go through a funk when I come back because every time I go to Europe, I remember why I want to move back to Europe. But yeah, we'll see.
All right, what's next?
Well, this one can actually lead into a talking point to us for a little bit.
We haven't done that one yet? I thought we've already hit that. Fuck, we've been talking our asses off. All right.
We haven't, actually. Justin V. I think this guy's newer. Justin V.
V as in vagina?
Yes.
Starting to sound like an owl. Who? All right. Is there anything you wish you could change about motorcycle culture or any way to improve it?
I'm not unpacking that.
That's
too much.
What? Okay, last episode of 22. Get it out.
Listen, I think that we've already done our part in terms of providing a space where maybe people don't feel like they belong at a hog event or a big rally. I think we've already done our part to change the culture and provide a space where there is a place for people to belong that maybe didn't feel like they belonged in the other spaces. And so, and I don't know that we changed it. I just think we added to it. Right. So I think we've already done that.
Well, and let's, I mean, you need to be a little more specific because, what are you really talking about with motorcycle culture?
Well, and we've hit on it in a lot of different podcasts.
A lot of people, when they say that, they're thinking the Harley culture, right? And then then also, like, again, I'm going to go back to, I've just been in Europe the last few weeks. I went to Ace Cafe. I kind of, the motorcycle culture there is very different than what it is here.
Riding all them damn British bikes,
Yeah, Triumphs are nice.
Well, so you just said the motorcycle culture is different. What do you mean by that? Different how?
Different. Well, and I don't mean like between Europe and the U.S., although it may be, but I'm saying there's a distinction between the Harley culture, right? Which a lot of people would assume if you're talking about motorcycle culture, that's what you're talking about. The non-Harley culture is different. That moto life, more cafe racers, more about socializing on a different level than we do, right, within our community.
Well, and John, Dad and Mad, John, he brought up an interesting point when I was DMing him one time and we were talking about it. And I think a huge difference in the culture between Europe and America, and this is from my perspective because this is totally how I view it, is that they're using motorcycles as a reason to gather in a place. And I use my motorcycle as a reason to ride across the country and see things. Because if John spends 6 hours on his bike, he'll have ridden across his entire country.
Yep.
If I spend 6 hours on my bike, I won't even get across
out of South Dakota.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I won't get across. I won't get across the state that I'm in.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But the other distinction is that in the States, biking is still considered a hobby, right? Because it's not a primary mode of transportation for the majority of people that bike.
Well,
whereas
we also don't
overseas. It's different.
We also don't use it as a tool to pack our groceries on and all the things we're carrying.
If it doesn't pay our bills, I consider it a hobby.
Well, the United States covers what, 3 or 4 time zones, and Europe is one. So
not true.
I think that?
Not true. There's multiple time zones in Europe.
Well, okay, the UK is
why
one
are we
time
talking
zone.
about Europe anyway?
The UK
ain't nobody going to Europe to ride no
UK
fucking motorcycle.
That's different. That's not all of Europe.
No, but I'm just saying when you're talking about you ride for 6 or 7 or 8 hours in Europe, you're even probably leaving countries, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I think that the idea of that being the same as it is here is a completely, it probably could be 5 podcasts all by itself, right? Because it's a, like Tony said, that's a lot to unpack.
Well, I think he was talking about the U.S. I don't think he was talking about fucking worldwide global shit here.
Right. I'd be curious what aspect of the culture that he's referring to, if there's something in particular that he was thinking of, because the stuff that you guys are talking about doesn't even come to mind for me. But like the stuff that comes to mind for me is everything that has to do with the female aspect of it. So like if I wanted the culture to be different, it would be all the things we've talked about in other episodes, more acceptance of females being the owner of a motorcycle, not just a passenger. And then all the things that go along with that we've, like I said, talked about several times.
It's interesting that you say that though, Brittany, because your specific subsect of the motorcycle culture right now is the fastest growing subsect in the culture. The female rider is by far the fastest growing subsect in the culture.
Well, that's great, but I'm just saying, like, when it comes to the culture, that's the stuff that I think about. I don't really talk about it, but the other aspect that I don't like is honestly like the sexualization of women in the motorcycle culture. I hate that. I'm always going to hate it.
You know, the only thing I would add as a counterpoint to that is I think that there's a difference between sexualization, which is what we do as men, right? And there's a difference between women who own their sexuality and they're doing it they're doing it with a purpose of earning a living.
We talk about hookers.
That's fair.
Yes, I think
I guess, yeah.
Yes, I think that's entirely different. You know what I mean, Brittany?
It could be, yeah.
If there's someone making money because she's posing on a motorcycle, she's capitalizing on her idea of owning her own sexuality and making money to do it. If there's someone else that sees a picture of a female rider and then makes lewd comments, they're sexualizing that rider. I think there's a completely
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like you don't see all the calendars that Harley puts out. It's all like half naked women. Or
nobody wants a calendar with half naked dudes on it.
I've got a Harley calendar on my wall, and there's no women. There's not one. It's all bikes.
I'm not saying you have to put that out, but that's the aspect of the culture that I'm talking about that I personally am not a fan of, because I want to go into the motorcycle community and not be viewed that way.
Let me ask you something.
Way as like you guys are viewed.
Are you blaming the men for those calendars?
Wearing pants, Brittany.
No, I'm not blaming anyone. I think it's a combined thing that lots of different people perpetuate.
Okay. Just say there's consent to do those photos.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's not like
and
they're being held at gunpoint to do them.
No,
and
I
you shouldn't wear pants, Brittany. Pants would help. Just saying.
I'm not hating on the people that want to do that stuff. I'm not saying they're forced to do it. I'm saying that's the part of the culture that I am not a fan of.
I understand what you're saying.
It's a problem in the U.S. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. We've talked about it tons of times. I've just never really brought it up.
Here's hope for you, though, because over the last 50 years, you've seen other segments of society reject that stuff. Mm-hmm. Right? It'll happen here as well. It may not happen as fast as some people want, but
Well, because it's like
evolution.
You could have the option. Why do all the calendars have to be half naked women? Are you buying the calendar for the women, or are you buying it for the motorcycle? Could it just be a motorcycle? Could it be regular dressed people that are in the calendars? These are all just things to consider.
Well,
they do make those.
Yeah, I think you're also focusing on that part of it too, because like I just said, I have a calendar. It's a Harley Davidson calendar. It doesn't have a single person and or woman in that calendar. It's all bikes.
Well, let me tell you what.
I think some of
you have to sell calendars, or because they're worthless the next year. And one full of dudes is still going to be around next
example calendar, because everybody.
Yeah, you guys are focusing on the example and not the message here. It's a common stereotypical problem.
Here's where I think it'll change, Brittany, as there'll be a tipping point as women within the market segment become a bigger and bigger part of that. And the people who use this to make money understand that they'll be losing sales if they continue down this path. That's when you'll see the shift.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
because it's all about the money.
I also think there needs to be an understanding that men and women aren't the same and that we're different. So rather than saying that you want to be equal, we should accept that we're different, right? Because you don't want a pair of pants that are built for me, right?
That's totally different than what I'm talking about.
It's not, because this is my point.
It has, for me, it has to do with
hold on. We might as well just talk about religion and politics.
No way.
Hey,
let's just break it all out.
This is a huge part of the culture. Every time you hear about a rally and people not wanting to go, it's all like, this is one of the core things that I feel like you hear. But even recently with Monkey or with Dad and Mad, we talked about, would you want to bring your female to these rallies, and there's concern because of the stereotype of rallies.
Sure.
That's the part I'm talking about. I would change.
This is the point that I was that I would make to this, right? So I've ridden in groups of all men, and I've ridden in mixed groups before. And you were at one of those mixed groups, right? And this is what I mean about accepting that we're not the same, that we're different. Okay. Never in the time that I've ridden in a group of men have I had to help somebody stand their bike up unless they tip their bike over. But I distinctly remember helping you tip your bike up when we were at an event riding because we were parked on a hill and you couldn't tip your bike up on your own.
But again, this doesn't have to do with what the culture that I'm talking about.
It does, because we're accepting that we're different and not the same, right? So
no. I'm just going to be honest. It has nothing to do with.
She's talking about the sexualization. She's not talking about what you're talking about.
Bikes. Yeah.
It's a very different. What she's talking about is very different than what you're talking about.
But it's not, Dave, because it's all inclusive, right? Because you're saying that innately women are being sexualized in the motorcycle industry. Okay.
They're sexualized in life.
Okay.
In everything you do.
Right.
That's how babies are made.
Well, that's true. That is true.
You're not wrong, but that's also to say that men are or are not sexualized. Aren't they sexualized also?
See, we can't even. You're going down. I think you're missing the point.
I think we're getting too deep into this.
It's too deep. This is why I don't bring it up, because it often goes that way. But I think we're gonna have to agree to disagree for now.
I'm just trying to provide a counterpoint. That's all.
What's next?
That was it. That was it.
That's it. Let's talk about religion. And then we'll go to politics.
Which one?
I don't go to church. Next.
Which religion?
Next.
Which one?
Then we'll move on to the politics portion of the show. And then we'll sign off and never talk to anybody again.
That just fucking killed the vibe of the whole hour here.
Oh,
I wasn't trying to kill it. It was a serious question.
No,
so I thought,
it was a serious question. It was
a
serious answer you gave, and I respect you for your opinion. And
it is that's
I hear
just
you
a
and
hard
I see
topic.
It is. It's a hard topic.
It's a hard topic.
Right, but you can't remedy the situation if you don't talk about it.
That's why I was like, maybe I'll bring it up this time.
No.
No, screw you guys. I'm going home.
I thought you were already home.
Oh yeah, I'm going to bed.
well, we should at least, before we sign off for 2022, right? We should remind everybody that we have the charity bike build coming up. And if you haven't seen,
indeed,
on Instagram, Jared Weems posted some pretty awesome pictures of that motor that doesn't even look like a motor that came out of the bike that we got. Holy
It's
hell,
clean.
that thing's amazing.
It's
right?
very clean.
Immaculate.
And he posted his video with some talking points with Milkbone, who's going to be doing the painting of the bike. So that's pretty amazing. If anybody hasn't seen, there's been a few videos posted with Blockhead and him and Chris and Jared breaking that bike down to essentially the bare bones on a table, which was a pretty awesome. If you've ever seen a bike or a motor broken completely down to its cases, that was pretty amazing. I didn't think it could actually be done that fast in a video format, but it was pretty amazing. So
Taking
go
them
check out all
apart's
those
easy.
videos.
It's putting them back is the tricky part.
When you get all those extra parts in your hands.
We don't need that. Where'd that spring go? Fuck it. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So we have that coming up, right? And our live stream on the 9th.
Yes.
To ring in the new year. Yep.
Ring it in, baby.
We're going to ring it in on the 9th, and we'll probably do a live stream on the 18th too, because that's when Harley's announcing their.
So I can probably
good point.
probably report about my first week on the job with the dealership.
That'll be exciting.
Can you give us that friends and family discount code at the same time when you report?
Who said you were my friends?
Well, fuck off.
See where this is going.
Merry Christmas, cocksucker.
And, you say that, and I was going to sign off by just saying that 2022 didn't work out the way I wanted it to. There were some ups, there were some downs, but the highlights of my year almost always involved you guys. I just want to thank you for doing that. But since Dustin said what he said,
yeah, you feel like a real bag of dicks now, don't you, Dustin?
I said what I said.
I said what I said. Yeah, 2022 was the first year that we've been together more than one occasion in 1 year.
Yeah.
And it was at 3 or 4 times.
It's three times, right?
3 times, yeah.
3 times in Uranus.
It was.
I had to make it 4.
Dustin just had to keep going back. He
liked it so much.
He was hypnotized by Uranus. It just had him in a trance.
The family. It was so much fun.
He was in an ass trance.
He hit a home run. The rest of us were just
I
triples.
was in balloon, not heaven.
Oh my God.
But all kidding aside, I do want to thank you guys for helping 2022 be as amazing as it was when we were all together, and that includes every week, not just when we were together physically.
Yeah, no, it's always
been a good
lot
year.
of fun.
We
It's
celebrated
always a lot of fun, but this year was trying. There was a lot of stuff that was going on in the background that nobody saw. So it was a lot going on this year, but
We did okay.
yeah,
And
we
we
did
had-
okay.
We had Dave. We had your 1 year anniversary,
Yep.
right?
Back in September.
And Brittany's 1 year anniversary is going to be coming up right after our live streams and the Harley event.
No, it's already passed. It was in November.
Was it in November already?
Well,
So
thanks for
Brittany's 1 year-
saying something.
Damn it!
Well,
Was
it's
it?
kind
I
of.
mean, we had you
Here's-
on, but it
okay.
wasn't official, right?
I'm just gonna kill the mood again one more time. You guys,
you have
you
to.
guys officially offered me the position while I was in Nebraska after my grandpa died. So it's hard to forget because it was two big events
that's
in my
true.
life.
That's true.
Was that in November?
Yep, it was in November. It was right around Thanksgiving. I think you called me maybe the week of Thanksgiving or the
Okay.
day before or something.
You're right. You were not.
I don't
at
know the
home.
exact day, but
You're right.
yeah, I was in Brunswick, Nebraska.
Yeah. So we had two anniversaries this year too.
I can't
So-
remember.
It's crazy. It
Holy
goes
shit.
it goes by really fast, honestly. I can't believe it's already been a year.
Yeah,
That's nuts.
we'll be on to season 5 in January.
Holy hell! Season
That's
5.
a
Are we
fucking-
gonna hit? Are we gonna hit the 200 podcast mark this year too?
Dude,
We
We've
had
already-
to be
we've
close.
already hit that.
Yeah, I was
Have
gonna
we
say-
hit
Did we
the 200
already?
mark? Holy
Yeah,
shit!
I was trying to look at our list
Should have
earlier,
been around
but
the 4.5 year mark.
Was it?
oh,
Give
well,
me
we did
just
a
a second.
150 episode, didn't we?
Yep, we did that.
So we
Then we'd be closing in on 200 if we did a 150.
I'll tell you what, we have talked motorcycles to fucking death.
We have.
Somehow we're gonna keep doing it
I
next
know.
year.
Somehow we're going to keep on keeping on.
we have published 167.
Wow.
Oh, there you go. See,
So we're close.
So the only like on Buzzsprout, the only achievement we haven't earned is the 200. Then other than that, we've crushed every
So
achievement on Buzzsprout.
2023.
Cool.
2023 will hit 200.
2023 will be 200.
Yep.
And possibly 500,000 downloads.
Whoa!
Cool.
Sometime next year.
500,000.
It could happen.
we got. I mean, that's nuts because we got to. What was that? What was the number that we were first
10,000.
talking about, Dustin? No.
we celebrated 200,000 this year.
Okay, so but we got to. It took us. Was it 2 years to get to 100,000, and it took us 9 months to get to 200,000.
We're almost
Right?
to 300,000
That's crazy.
And
downloads
we're almost
right
to 300,000. Yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, I guess the more you get in your catalog when you get new subscribers, then you get 200 downloads, right? If they download our entire catalog. So
God damn, dude.
Or
There,
listen to
there
it.
are a lot of like old lonely people out there.
I can't believe people even
Why are
listen
they
to
all old? They might be young too.
yeah,
Because young people are probably, never mind.
it. They have
I
better
think-
Yeah, they probably are doing other
I think
things, Dave. You're right.
I have to say this because you missed our last podcast.
No, I listened to that, you
Did you-
fuckers. Yeah, I did. You know,
Dustin's. I listened to it back, and Dustin's. I have to say this because I know we've said it in other podcasts, but I think it I need to mention it again. Dustin's editing is absolutely, positively on point every single podcast. I mean, you go back and listen to him and he throws in these little things and he's like, I don't know, a few podcasts ago, he's like, let's have a moment of silence. And all of a sudden he throws in taps that wasn't there when we recorded. Mm-hmm. And so just the little nuances that really, I think, add to the final product when it hits the airwaves. And I just need to say thank you, Dustin, for all that you do, everything that you add to our podcast. It's kind of how I want to close out this year, is just,
we just
thanking
turned
everybody.
into a dick sucking fest, didn't we?
Oh, I'm not doing that.
You're next, big boy.
Yeah, you're next, big boy. And
hey, man, I don't talk feelings.
Besides
weak-minded fuckers.
You don't have to feel anything. You don't have to feel anything, dude.
Besides the fact that we had Brittany celebrate her 1 year and Dave celebrate her 1 year, we hit some great milestones. We have a good group of friends. It's great that we have 5 people who can have so much fun. We can agree to disagree. Brittany, you're wrong. No, I mean, it's such a great time for us every week when we get together, and when we have that opportunity when we're not together. I know that over the course of the next 2 weeks, we're all going to be doing family things, and I'm gonna miss you guys for 2 weeks. So there you go.
Well, you got our numbers.
Ryan had to close out the year with a little bit of emotion.
A little bit.
He's always the dick of the show. He's like, I gotta reel it in. Gotta thank some people.
Yep. We got to make some amends.
Not anymore. Now you're the dicks of the show, Brittany, with your shirt. You have to wear it every week.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wear it every week, but maybe I'll make some surprise fun clothing for next year. You never know.
Should start a whole line, the dick line.
Brittany, you've seen those socks where you pull up the pant leg and it looks like a dick that's hanging down your leg? Those things are hilarious, by the way.
I have not seen said dick sock.
Oh yeah, like a dick pet, going down the inside.
Yeah, it's going down the for sure. Tony, do you have anything to say before we shut this thing down?
I do not. Fuck off and eat a dick.
Just one, not a whole bag.
The whole bag.
A whole tree full.
Dicks.
Not a whole
tree full.
Whole bag of salty dicks.
Well, everybody, that's it for 2022. I want to thank all of you for listening, as you have all year, or maybe for the first time right now. I want to thank our sponsors, Memphis Shades and Wild Ass, for their continued support through the year and the years before. All of you guys, thank you so much for listening to Five Dirty Bikers podcast. We'll see you in 2023. Till then, keep it dirty.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Dickmas.
Kiss my ass.
Following the Five Dirty Bikers on social media, find us on Facebook and look us up on Instagram and TikTok at Five Dirty Bikers.